Dear students, last day we were looking at the story being told by Prospero to Miranda, how Prospero and his daughter Miranda were thrown out of Milan. Towards the end we have seen how Prospero spoke about the plan Antonio devised along with Alonso, the king of Naples, to overthrow Prospero from power. So they made a contract, and what were the conditions of the contract and what was the outcome of the contract. The condition of the contract was that Antonio will pay him certain amount of money, or we call it a tribute. Also, he will be submissive to the power of the king. That was a contract. So if he does that, he will do a favor of throwing Prospero out of Milan. And what was the outcome? The outcome was he brought an army on a planned day and got Prospero out of his dukedom. So after hearing the story, Miranda was so sad. She said, I don't know whether I cried that time. It is now. My eyes are filled with tears. I would like to express my sorrow. But Prospero says, hold on a little more. I haven't completed my story. So please listen. Unless I complete this story, the purpose of my telling the story will not be complete. What is the purpose of his saying the story? That's what we are going to see today. Verses 161 to 26. Prospero connects his past to the present. Prospero is connecting his past to the present. What is past? That is removal from power. Prospero being removed from power, that is the Duke of Milan, is connected to the tempest. That is a tempest created by Prospero. So that is a connection. So in order to say that the tempest is created by me with a purpose, you remember Prospero telling her, if only you knew who you were, I am doing everything for you. But you do not know who you are actually, and you do not know who your daddy is actually. So the story will reveal who Miranda actually is and who is Prospero in reality. So that connection is done with the telling of the story. We stopped at verse 160. We will go to 161. So when Miranda had been told how Prospero along with her was ousted from power, she gets a reasonable doubt. She asks, wherefore did they not that our destroyers? How come that they did not kill us? How did they spare us? How were we spared? Wherefore did they not that our destroyers? They would have easily finished us off. How is that we were not killed? Prospero, well demanded wench, my tale provokes that question. Dear, they darest not. Okay. Prospero is happy. He said, very good inquiry. You are making a very good inquiry. Your question is quite right. Wench means woman. Oh woman, you have asked the rightful question. Because my tale invites such a doubt. And then he gives the answer. What is the answer? Dear, they darest not. They did not have the courage to do that. That is, Antonio, along with the king of Naples, Alonso, they did not dare, they did not have the courage to do that. Why? So dear the love my people bore me, nor set a mark so bloody on the business. Set a mark so bloody on the business means bloodshed. When you kill somebody, you have to shed blood. So dear the love my people bore me, bore born. My people had great love for me. If they were to shed blood, it would have led to a rebellion, a revolt. People would have revolted against Antonio and Alonso. So they did not dare to shed the blood of Prospero and Miranda. But with colors fairer painted their foul ends. Colors fairer means false appearance. With colors fairer painted their foul ends. Foul ends is evil ends. End means the end, aim. So, evil aims. So their evil desires were fulfilled by giving a false appearance. They did not kill us. They did not shed our blood. They didn't have the courage to do it because the people had great love for us. But they were evil people and they gave a false appearance. What was that false appearance? They saw to it that we were out of Milan. But they did not kill us. It was equal to killing, but no bloodshed. In short, they hurried us aboard a bark. A bark is a boat. They hurried us aboard a bark, into a boat. They transported or rushed us to a boat, bore us some leagues to sea. Leagues meaning is given there, is around 5 kilometers. So, they took us, rushed us into a boat and sent the boat 5 kilometers away into the sea, where they prepared a rotten carcass of a butt. Butt is again boat. Rotten carcass of a butt. Carcass is dead body. Rotten carcass means a decayed body of a boat. That means, was it a boat? Yes, you can call it a boat, but it did not have the qualities or necessities a boat should have. It's very important. This phrase is very important and this passage also is very important. They asked questions many times. So the rotten carcass of a boat means the dead body of a boat. That is a boat which was in ruins. A boat which was in ruins. It was damaged to that extent it wouldn't even look like a boat. Such was its condition. But it was a boat. So the rotten carcass of a butt, not rigged, nor tackle, sail, nor mast, the very rats instinctively have quit it. That is to say, these are the things a boat on sail should have. A boat on sail in a ship should have all these things, like it should be rigged, it should have tackle, sail, mast, and all those things to control the wind. I told you last day in one of my classes, I explained to you what is the use of a mast. So, all these things should be there. But this boat had none of these things. That's why rotten carcass of a butt. And the rats were there. Rats have destroyed most of the fittings of the boat. Instinctively have quit it. Rats had instinctively had quit, means they had done their work, nothing more to do, completely destroyed, and they had left. There they hoist us. So they took us in a boat 5 kilometers away into the sea, and there they had arranged a boat-like thing and launched us into it. To cry to the sea that rowed to us, to sigh to the wind, cry to the sea that rowed to us, to sigh to the winds, whose pity is sighing back again. This is a highly poetical language. Prospero and Miranda had only 2 friends in the sea. Who were they? The roaring of the sea and the sighing of the wind. The sea and the wind. Sea is there, water, and the wind which keep on blowing in the sea. These were the only 2 friends. To cry to the sea that roared to us. So I was so sad. I was crying because I lost all my hope. I was a duke. Now I am just thrown in the sea. I am launched into a boat-like thing which has no fittings of a boat. So I was crying literally. And when I cried, what did the sea do? Sea roared back. It did not listen to my cry. To sigh to the winds. Sigh is a deep breath. So, to sigh to the winds, whose pity is sighing back again. I sighed to the wind to express my sorrow. Sigh is a long breath to express your sorrow, dissatisfaction, things like that. So, when I sighed to the wind, what did the wind do? Whose pity is sighing back again? It sighed back again. Maybe his sigh was a chord. To the winds whose pity is sighing back again, did us but loving wrong. Miranda says, alack, what trouble was I then to you? So, Miranda is just imagining around 3 years, 2.5 to 3 years old child being in the open, thrown in the sea with a dead carcass of a butt. So, what a pitiable thing would have been. So she imagines that she must have been a sort of great trouble to Prospero. So she asks, alack, alas, what trouble was I then to you? Prospero, oh, a cherubim, you are an angel. You are not a trouble to me at all. You are an angel. Thou wast that did preserve me. It is actually you who preserved me. If you were not there, I would not have lost it. I would not have remained safe. It is you who encouraged me to stay on. Thou didst smile, infused with a fortitude from heaven, when I have decked the sea with dropsful salt, under my burden groaned, which raised in me an undergoing stomach, to bear up against what should ensue. So you were not a disturbance or trouble to me at all. Far from being a trouble, I should say that you gave me the strength to continue. Far from being a trouble, it is you who gave me the strength to carry on. That's what the gist of it. Thou didst smile. You kept on smiling. Thou didst smile means you did really smile. And your smile infused with a fortitude from heaven. Infused means filled or soaked. Filled with a fortitude from heaven. Fortitude is courage. Courage in pain. When you are faced with difficulties, there is something that gives you courage. That is fortitude. So, infused with fortitude from heaven. It's a heaven which gave me the courage to withstand the situation. And your smile. When I have decked the sea with dropsful salt. That is salty teardrops. I used to cry. Cry out of sorrow. Just being thrown in the open sea. Will I survive? Will I reach somewhere in the shore? Not sure. No hope. It is the heavens and your smile which gave me consolation even when I was shedding tears. Dropsful salt means salty tear. Normally it's believed that salt has the taste of salt, the tears taste salty. Biology students will know. Your sweat also is salty, your tear also is salty. And Prospero's case does become more salty because he was in a boat which had no accessories. Therefore, the seawater must have been constantly hitting on him. And his tears must have been more salty. Undergoing stomach is spirit of endurance. To bear up means to endure. Which raised in me, here which means your smile. To bear up against what should ensue. What should ensue is to happen afterwards. So there was tension. There was a tension. What is going to happen? Will I survive? So I was really in trouble. I was in sorrow. I was shedding tears. But it is the fortitude, the courage which heaven gave me. I filled with myself with that courage. And whenever I looked at you, your smiling face, that gave me the encouragement to carry on. If you were not there, you haven't been smiling, then I had no motivation to continue. I would have ended up my life. Miranda, how came we ashore? How did we come to the shore? Now we are on the shore in an island. How did we come here? Prospero. By providence divine. It was the providence of God, the power of God. Some food we had and some fresh water that a noble Neapolitan, Gonzalo, out of his charity, who being then appointed master of this design, did give us with rich garments, linens, stuffs and necessaries, which since have steaded much. So of his gentleness knowing I loved my books, he furnished me from mine own library with volumes that I prize above my dukedom. So he explains, how did we come to the shore? First of all, it was the providence of God. By providence of God, I got the help of a gentleman called Gonzalo. We already got introduced to Gonzalo in the first scene, wherein he says, Boatswain has no marks of drowning. That is Gonzalo. By providence divine, some food we had and some fresh water. Fresh water is a must in a sea. Those who travel in the ship must make sure that they have fresh water, because you cannot drink salt water and survive. You will die. How long will you go on drinking salt water? So you should have fresh water. So we had, luckily some food was provided and fresh water was provided, given by a noble Neapolitan. Neapolitan is a native of Naples. Native or inhabitant of Naples is called Neapolitan. A noble Neapolitan Gonzalo, out of his charity, it was out of his kindness, who being then appointed master of this design is scheme or plan. So this Milan, throwing Prospero out of power, packing Prospero away, all these things were entrusted with Gonzalo. He was in charge of it. And he was such a gentleman and he had some liking for me. So he arranged all these things. He did give us not only food and water, but he gave what? Rich garments, linen, stuffs. Stuff is equipments. Stuffs and necessaries, which since have steadied much. Steadied means helped. So all these steadied means all these things proved very helpful. Whatever he provided proved very helpful later on during my travel. What are the things? Of course, water and food. Along with that, garments. You need clothings. You need warm clothes to keep from the cold. And some equipments and necessaries, which since have helped much. So of his gentleness means in the kindness of his heart. He was a very kind man. Out of his gentleness, what did he do? Knowing I loved my books, he furnished me from mine own library with volumes that I prize above my dukedom. Furnish is to provide or to supply. He furnished me from mine own library, means he gave me or supplied me from my own library with volumes that I prize. Prize means to rate or to value or to estimate. Mine own library with volumes that I valued above my dukedom. This man knew me so well and he was very generous. So what did he give me? Of all the things he did, I loved best the books. He knew that I was madly in love with books. So there are so many volumes, he cannot give the entire library. But from the library, the books I valued so highly, he gave me to me. He gave them to me. I prized above my dukedom. You remember Prospero saying, library was dukedom for me. I had forgotten the dukedom. My library had become the dukedom for me. Miranda, would I might but ever see that man. Will I get a chance to see that man? Who is that man? Gonzalo, the gentleman. Prospero, he does not give the answer. He says, now I rise. I am getting up. He gets up, resumes his mantle. You remember, he took the mantle, asked the mantle, this is my art. My art, you be there. He had kept it there. Now he takes his art and puts it on. Sit still and hear the last of our sea sorrow. He tells Miranda, sit still. Sit still means don't get disturbed. Don't get disturbed. Don't get alarmed. Without asking many questions, now you just listen. Hear the last of our sea sorrow. Last means last part of the story. What is sea sorrow? Sea sorrow is sorrow or sadness associated with loss, bereavement, etc. Loss, bereavement, the sufferings of others, etc. What is loss is? He has lost his kingdom, lost his dear ones. Bereavement means losing of the dear ones. He lost his family members and so many others. He lost his people. So, sorrow or sadness associated with loss and bereavement is called sea sorrow. So listen to the last part of my sorrows. Here in this island we arrived, and here have I, thy schoolmaster, made thee more profit than other princes can, that have more time for vainer hours and tutors not so careful. Now Prospero is saying, thus we came over to this island. After coming here, what was my main duty? I was a tuition master. Some of you may be going for tuitions. So those who take tuition for you, other than those who are teaching in the school, they are called tuition masters. So, my work was being a tutor or a tuition master for you. And I did that job so well, you profited so much out of it. Here in this island we arrived, and here have I, thy schoolmaster. Miranda is a student and the master is Prospero. Made thee more profit. Profit means progress. That means it has helped you or benefited you much. My teaching has benefited you much. Than other princes can. The other princes of your age. Other princes of your age, when they are in the palace, they will not get this much of help. Because they do not spend this much time in studies, and the tutors are not as dedicated as I am. I have no other work, and I am so much interested in gaining knowledge and using the volumes of books which are with me. With that I could teach you so many things, and you have profited. You have profited than other princes can, that have more time for vainer hours. Vainer hours means foolish hours, and tutors not so careful. Not so careful means not so attentive, not so dedicated, not so committed. So, in the palaces, teachers are not that committed, and they spend less time in studies. Most of the time they spend on vainer hours, foolish hours. What is foolish hours? It is said that the princes spend their time. How do they spend? Girls will know. When they are small children, even now, girls spend lot of time in makeup, doing their hair, keep on combing, looking at the mirror, spending time. So the Weiner Aver's explanation is giving something like this: combing golden locks and looking out of windows. How did the princess spend their time? By combing the golden hairs, combing the golden locks and looking out of windows. That was the Weiner hours. Weiner hours, foolish hours means they were spending lot of time for this work, or combing golden locks and looking through the windows to see who is coming, who is going, what is happening. And they kept on combing their golden locks. Why are they golden? Because it belongs to the princess. Princess is the daughter of the king, therefore the locks are golden locks. The locks of an ordinary girl will not be golden locks. Miranda, heavens thank you for it, and now I pray you, sir, for still it is beating in my mind your reason for raising this sea storm. So Miranda replies saying, thank you, sir. You did teach me well. I profited so much from your teaching. Thank you very much. Heavens thank you for it. And now I pray you, sir, for still it is beating in my mind. Means it is still troubling my mind. There is something disturbing my mind. And I was waiting thinking that you'll answer. But you haven't answered. Your reason for raising this sea storm. I know that you only raised, you agreed. But why did you raise the storm? You haven't told me. Prospero. No, thus far forth. By accident most strange, bountiful fortune, now by dear lady, hath mine enemies brought to this shore, and by my prescience I find my zenith doth depend upon a most auspicious star, whose influence, if now I caught not, but omit, my fortunes will ever after droop. Here cease more questions. Thou art inclined to sleep. It's a good dullness, and give it way. I know thou canst not choose. So when Prospero was asked by Miranda, what is the reason for creating the storm? Prospero says, this is the appropriate time. The right time has come to take revenge. It was a great fortune that they have been brought to this place, and my stars are in favor of me. You know, when the stars are in favor, you should act. If I don't act immediately, then I will lose that chance. I don't want to lose it. Therefore, I have taken effort to execute it. That's it. By accident most strange, it was by accident, bountiful fortune, now my dear lady, hath mine enemies brought to this shore. It was by accident. My enemies have been brought to this island, to my own place. They were passing through or passing by my island. It is a sheer fortune. Otherwise, how is it possible they will come very close to my island, pass by? It was really a just accident. Accident means not planned, unplanned. Hath mine enemies brought to this shore, and by my prescience means foreknowledge, the ability to know things before it happens. That is prescience. And by my prescience, Prospero had that ability to know things before, because He had the help of magic, liberal arts. I find my zenith doth depend upon a most auspicious star, whose influence, if now I court not, but omit, my fortunes will ever after droop. I found my star was in favor of me, and I must do it immediately. If I don't court not, I don't accept this fortune as it comes, then what will happen? My fortune will start to go down. Fortune will start to diminish, become lesser and lesser. Droop, become lesser and lesser. So immediately I should accept the fortune because my stars are in the right place and everything is in my favor. So immediately I must accept it and act accordingly. If I don't if I don't accept this opportunity, what will happen? My fortune will start to diminish. Here cease more questions. Thou art inclined to sleep. Enough of questions. You have asked plenty of questions. No more questions. I have answered you everything well. Then Prospero tells Miranda, thou art inclined to sleep. Inclination means a desire. See, it looks like you have an intention to sleep. You seem to be feeling sleepy. Please go to sleep. It's a good dullness. It's a good dullness. Feeling dull means feeling sleepy. It's good. Sleep. And give it way. Give it way means allow it to take that dullness over you. That means you are feeling sleepy and sleep. Very good. I know thou canst not choose. Thou cannot but choose. You cannot say no to sleep. Why? Prospero has used his magical spell to send Miranda to sleep. Because he has some business pending. So Prospero says, you cannot say no to sleep. You are feeling sleepy? Yes, you are feeling sleepy. Okay, you sleep. Go to sleep. Because he has a business waiting. He is going to meet our friend Ariel. So when he meets Ariel, he doesn't want Miranda to be watching and listening. Miranda sleeps. Then he calls out, come away, servant, come. I am ready now. Approach, my Ariel, come. He is very close to Ariel because it is Ariel who helps him in doing all the works. Come away means come away. He is waiting outside. Servant, come. I am ready now. I have finished my dialogue, my conversation with Miranda. You come now. Approach, my Ariel, come. Enter Ariel. Ariel. All hail, great master. Grave sir. Grave means respected. All hail means all is well. All hail, great master. Grave sir, hail. I come to answer thy best pleasure. I come to answer thy best pleasure means whatever you want, you tell me. I am here. Just at your command. I am at your disposal. Just command me and I will do it. What all will I do? Be it to fly, I can fly. To swim, I am ready to swim. To dive into the fire, I can plunge into the fire. To ride on the curled clouds, I can go up the clouds and ride in the clouds. To thy strong bidding task, I am just ready to obey you. Just tell me the work and it will be done. Ariel and all his quality, all his companions or associates. Companions. Quality here is associates. Ariel has got so many people working with him, so many spirits. So I, myself and my spirits, we are all ready here to obey you. You just command us. See, it is believed that there are different sorts, different kinds of spirits. And their powers are limited. Some have the ability to travel in the water. Some have the ability to go up and ride in the cloud. Some have the ability to enter the fire. Some have the ability to be only in the air, not in the water. But Ariel was such a wonderful spirit. It had all the powers. It can be in the water, it can be in the air, it can plunge into the fire, it can go up to the cloud and take a ride in the cloud. Anything it could do. It could do any task. That is very special of Ariel. Prospero, hast thou, spirit, performed to point the tempest that I bade thee? So when Ariel said, just waiting for a command, he asked, I had given you a task to create the tempest. Have you performed? To point. To point means precisely. Letter by letter, word by word. That means without any change. Have you completely done the work assigned to you regarding creating the tempest? That I bade means commanded thee, Ariel, to every article. To every article means to every letter. That is, to every detail. Just as you told. Without any change, just as you told, everything is done. So what did Ariel do? How did he create the tempest? We shall see tomorrow. Thank you.